November 13 pa lamang, samantalang hindi pa po lumalabas ang pera ng confidential funds. Pwede po bang may paliwanag yon?
Madam Chair, this is the subject of an impeachment trial, and I would not like to discuss the defense for the impeachment trial.
Representative
Chair,
Pino,
wala naman
please
pong-
proceed with the next question.
Madam Chair, I would just like to note na wala pong impeachment trial sa kasalukuyan. Madam Chair, in fact, it is archived in the Senate. No? Okay, so next question na po. No? Lumabas din po sa nakaraang mga hearing sa House na nag-submit po ang Office of the Vice President ng 2,670 accomplishment reports at kasama para po sa liquidation ng 500 million pesos worth of confidential funds under the Office of the Vice President. At ayon sa investigasyon ay 1,322 out of 1,992 names in the OVP ARs submitted to the PSA have no birth records. So kasama po dito yung mga pangalang Mary Grace Piatos, Fernando Tempura, meron pang Chel Jokno. No?
Kindly wind up your
Opo.
question.
Again, pwede po bang mapaliwanag ng Vice Presidente kung bakit ganon ang sinabmit at bakit walang supporting documents ang mga accomplishment reports na ito?
Madam Chair, again, first, if the committee would like to ask how the Commission on Audit conducts its audit, I request that all the questions be propounded during the hearing of the Commission on Audit. Second, the subject confidential funds is a matter in impeachment proceedings, which is archived, but there is a pending motion for reconsideration in the Supreme Court. I cannot discuss defense strategy. Number 3, I cannot discuss intelligence operations and cannot explain how intelligence operations are done without compromising national security.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My next question.
Congressman Tenyo, last question.
Opo, last question.
Please wind up.
Opo. So, napabalita po no na mula July of last year hanggang sa kasalukuyan ay meron pong 13 trips ang Vice President overseas, no? Several po sa Netherlands. Umaabot po sa at least 60 days po na on leave ang presidente at marami po pero hindi lahat ay sinasabing personal leave, no? So sa mga trips po na ito, ilan po ang naging personal leave at ilan ang on official duty at magkano po ang total na budget na ginastos ng Office of the Vice President para sa mga official leave at personal leave na nangyari?
So
Madam Chair, yes.
Last question, Madam
Yes,
President.
yes. Madam Chair, may I ask what date do you want me to start with the destinations? July 2024.
No pizza daw yun?
Mr. Chair, from July 2024, a personal trip to Germany.
Okay.
Then January 2025,
July 24, we'll start?
personal trip to Japan and so on.
Yes. We'll start with July 2024. So, number 1, under the Civil Service Commission rules, there is no allotted leave for the president and vice president. We cannot both file a leave. So the only thing that I need when I travel overseas is a travel authority from the office of the president. All my travels were issued travel authority by the office of the vice president. And this implies that all these trips were approved by the office of the vice president. So, from July 2024, I went to Germany. In December 2024, I went to Denmark. In January 2025, I went to Japan. In the third and fourth week of January, I went back to Japan. In February of third week and last week of February, I went back to Japan. On March, I went to Hong Kong. On March, I went to the Netherlands. On May, I went to Qatar and the Netherlands. On June, I went to Vietnam, Cambodia, and Malaysia. On June, I went to Australia. On July, I went to the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea. And very recently, from August to September, I went to Kuwait, the Netherlands, France, and Belgium. And number 3, no public funds were used for all my travels. I did not charge representation. I did not charge tickets. I did not charge per dime for all my travels in the office of the vice president. So if you can see in the breakdown of the budget of travel for office of the vice president, you can see that there was a 0 amount for the vice president.
Thank you, ma'am.
Madam Chair,
Parliamentary inquiry.
Next
Chair,
on-
just to follow up on the question. So, una po, salamat po sa Vice
I'm
President
sorry,
for
Congressman Tenyo,
detailing.
that was your last question. I'm sorry.
Follow up na lang po yung
I'm sorry.
personal po ba
I'm
ang lahat
sorry. In the
at
interest of time, we have to proceed.
magkano po ang ginastos ng opisina at staff? Kasi totoo po, wala daw ginastos ang
sorry,
Vice
I'm
Presidente.
Parliamentary
Magkano ang ginastos
inquiry.
I'm
ng
sorry.
staff?
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Parliamentary
Yes.
inquiry. Madam Chair, I thought we're going to accord institutional courtesy to the office of the Vice President. Bakit po natin binabanatan? Bakit natin tatanungin?
It's already settled that we'll just giving
Mr.
two
Chair,
questions from the minority. Okay?
Mr. Chair, hindi po,
5 minutes each.
wala pong
Opo.
binabanatan
But
dito.
does
I
not
take
preclude
exception
the other members
to the-
from making a manifestation.
Congressman Tenyo, sandali
I
lang.
take exception to the use of the term binabanatan. Nagtatanong lang po tayo rito at lihitimo naman po ang mga tanong.
Madam Chair.
So maybe I ask the congressman.
Mr. Chair, may we
withdraw
request
the
for a
comment.
suspension of
Session
the...
suspended.
I
Hearing
second
suspended.
motion.
Madam Chair, I would like to correct myself. I was informed that I mentioned that the travel authority is approved by the office of the vice president. The travel authority is approved by the office of the president. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. The correction is duly noted.
Yes, Madam Chair, may I move that we strike out the word binanatan uttered by Rep. Marcoleta. Wala naman pong binabanatan.
Second.
There is a motion to strike off from the record the terminology binabanatan. It has been duly seconded. The motion is carried.
Madam Chair, just a 1-minute manifestation on the striking of the record. I have no objection. However, I just want to explain that in the previous debates, in the previous legislatures before us, in the interim Batasang Pambansa, when an assemblyman from the city of Manila was attacking the late president, there was a motion to strike off the record of what he discussed on the floor. The former Assemblyman Arturo Tolentino said that if you strike off the record any sentence or paragraph, it's just the same sentences and you strike it, so you still can read that. So that was clear that I think that the procedure is still the same. The statement of Banatan, i-cross lang yan, but it's still there in the records. Sinabi ko lang yun because there was already clarified many years ago by former assemblyman who became
Duly noted,
legitimate
Kong Ongat.
authority.
This time we will use eraser. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Pero ngayon may video na.
Okay. Going to the next from the minority leader, Congresswoman Reneco. Please go ahead.
Good morning to the Vice President and good morning to my colleagues. I'd like to take off po sa questioning na ni Representative Tino. Meron po kasing minention na list of destinations na tinake ni Vice President this year under Travel Authority. But we like to take note na in a press conference of the Office of the Vice President, meron pong security and staff na kasama si Vice President. So can we ask po, no, paano po pinopondohan yung pagpunta, flight and accommodations ng staff and security ng OVP?
Yes. Magpinsan po ba si Congressman ko ngayon tsaka si Zaldi ko?
Ano po yun?
Gusto ko
Mr.
lang
Chair, I can
malaman.
answer.
Are they relatives?
Please answer, Congresswoman Rene.
I have no familiar relation po to Zaldico or to Representative Zaldico or any of their relatives po.
Let me just look for
Please go ahead, ma'am.
Look for the slide.
Madam Vice
Chair.
President, please go ahead.
Yes. So we are talking about international travels, no, as of July 31. So for two travels in Southeast Asia, for the security, it's 474,646.
Pecha de peligro? Delikado? Relax ka lang. Di ka na ipit-pag-ipit with G-Credit. Itawid natin yung essentials mo. Buksan ang GCash. Itap ang borrow, tapos G-Credit. Kung eligible ka, may credit limit kang up to 50,000. Ayos, di ba? Pwedeng-pwede pang grocery o bills. As low as 1.70 pesos daily interest lang kada 1,000 pesos. Mas mura pa sa candy. Pay later dahil pwedeng bayaran on or before the due date. Pag di pa kaya ng buo, pwedeng 10% muna para magaan sa bulsa. Tuwing nagigipit, may tatawid natin yan with G-Credit.
2,869.98. And then for the OVP personnel, that's 1,825,329.47 for a total of 4,748,199.45. For 3 trips in East Asia, the security budget was 1,141,937, and for the OVP personnel, 0, because they did not join these trips. And the total is 1,141,937. The total for
Kailanman hindi ko po questionin ang mga legal opinion ng ating mga abogado dito sapagkat hindi naman ako abogado. Subalit, kahit po ako hindi abogado, hindi ako masyadong nakatulog kagabi kasi pinag-aralan ko ito kung bubuksan o hindi. Anyway, nakaharap tayo ngayon sa isang mabigat na desisyon. Isang usapin na hindi lamang susukat sa ating galing sa batas, kundi pati na rin sa ating prinsipyo at integridad. Sa harap natin, andyan po yung mga income tax returns ni Vice President Sara Duterte at na kanyang asawang si Atty. Manscarpio. It is a literal and figurative, eka nga, Pandora's box na nasa pangangalaga ng House Committee on Justice. Napakasimple po ng question. Dapat ba nating buksan ang kahon na ito? Sinabi po sa Biblia, sa Luke 12:2, akin pong babanggitin sa wikang Tagalog, walang natatago na hindi mahayag at walang lihim na hindi malalaman. Naniniwala tayo sa transparency. Naniniwala tayo sa accountability. Ngunit bilang mga mambabatas, kailangan din nating maniwala sa tinatawag nating prudence o sa wikang Tagalog, tamang pagpapasya. Hindi po yung galing sa batas, kundi prudence. Mayroon tayong tinatawag na, power of the subpoena at ang power of the purse. Sabi nga ng ilan, ang kapangyarihan ng Kongreso ay nasa itaas ng tinatawag nating legal food chain. Pero tandaan po natin, just because we can do something does not mean we should. Ulitin ko ho. Just because we can do something does not mean we should. Bakit po ako nag-aalangan? Unang-una, sa aking pag-aaral, privacy and the law. Meron tayong Section 270 ng NIRC na nagbibigay proteksyon sa confidentiality ng mga taxpayers. Yan ang una. Pangalawa, private rights. Kasama sa usapin si Atty. Manscarpio, isang private citizen na may karapatan sa data privacy. Hindi po siya rito ang ating tinutugis bilang mayroong impeachable offense. Number 3, process over politics. Ang trabaho ng House ay tukuyin lamang ang probable cause. Kung may usok ba sa likod ng apoy. Ang pagtitimbang ng ebidensya at ang pagbubukas ng mga selyadong dokumento ay mas nararapat na gawin sa Senate sitting as an impeachment court. At wala po akong pasubali, Madam Chair, na ito ay papasa sa plenary at pupunta sa impeachment court sa Senado. Bakit kinakailangan tayong magmadali? Sa Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1, sinasabi sa wikang Tagalog, babanggitin ko uli, sa bawat bagay ay may kapanahunan at panahon sa bawat layunin sa silong ng langit. Ang paninindigan natin ay ito, sa akin, kapasyahan. Keep it sealed right now. Hayaan natin ang Senado ang magbukas nito bilang bahagi ng impeachment trial para buksan ang katotohanan sa tamang panahon ng paglilitis. Huwag nating pangunahan ang proseso para sa kapakanan ng ating legal system at ng ating bansa. Madam Chair, at mga kaibigan ko dito sa Committee on Justice, hindi mo mas maganda na may suspense, eka nga. Di ba? Nasuri na natin ang impeachment complaints at mga nakalakip na ebidensya. At naniniwala ako, if every congressman will just appreciate the pieces of evidence that has been talked about in this committee, hindi po malabo na ito ay magtagumpay sa plenaryo at makarating sa impeachment court. ihain na natin, ang articles of impeachment sa Senado nang may paggalang sa batas at takot sa Diyos. Tinimbang na natin at sapat na para sa probable cause. Dito po sa Committee on Justice, tinimbang natin si Vice President Sara at nakita natin ang laki ng kanyang pagkukulang. Probable cause. Madam Chair, my dear colleagues, kaya po yan po ang aking stand. Sana po ay isuspense na lang natin ito at hayaan natin ang impeachment court ang magbukas nito. I fully agree with Congresswoman De Lima that we should now vote. Naging patas po tayo, naging lenient po tayo sa kanya. Inintindi po natin siya, Madam Chair, kahit meron tayong kapangyarihan to subpoena her, hindi po natin ginawa. Meron tayong kapangyarihan to contempt, hindi po natin ginawa. Ginalang po natin, Madam Chair, ang Vice Presidente ng Pilipinas. Tayo ba ginalang niya? Hindi. Ininsulto ba niya tayo, Madam Chair? Hindi tayo pinagbigyan at pagpapahalaga sa pamamagitan ng kanyang presensya dito sa hearing na ito. We have already given her all the due process that she needed, Madam Chair. Kailangan nating alalahanin na bawat araw na itong kasong ito ay nakabinbin sa Committee on Justice, sinasayang po natin ang pera ng taong bayan at ang oras ng committee ito. Marami pa po tayong gagawin, Madam Chair. Ang daming problema ng ating bansa, lalo na po sa taas ng mga bilihin ngayon. Palagay ko, panahon na upang tayo ay magbotohan at panahon na upang sa committee ito, ay i-report na po natin sa plenaryo at ma-impeach na po ang pangalawang Pangulo.
9 trips for both the security and OVP personnel is 7,473,887.70.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Congresswoman Ko.
Mr. Chair, may we request a detailed copy of the report that the Vice President gave in relation po sa spending po ng security and staff for foreign trips abroad.
We will request the Office of the Vice President to supply the committee with such record. Thank you, Madam.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to ask another follow-up question. Ilan po yung staff and security na dala po ng Office of the Vice President in these trips na funded po, na of this breakdown ng fund na binigay?
Luoy na kayo mong naong, sir ba? Kanang. Madam Chair, for the security, I understand they recommend, the Armed Forces of the Philippines recommend 3 to 4 security personnel, but the Office of the Vice President only approves 2 security personnel. And for the Office of the Vice President personnel, that's 1 ceremonial and diplomatic affairs employee, 1 for MPRD, that is the Media Relations and Public Affairs Division, and then 1 for assistant.
Struggling to get traffic? You're missing out on the world's most powerful platform, TikTok. Spend 63,000 Sri Lankan rupees in TikTok ads credit. No more worrying about low traffic. TikTok's billion-strong active user pool helps your business quickly find targeted audiences. Claim today.
Sa ating mga foreign trips.
Madam Chair, not all foreign trips, as I mentioned. Security is always recommended by the Armed Forces of the Philippines, but some trips do not have OVP personnel because there are only 3 trusted OVP personnel who can do the work that I demand from them, and sometimes they are not available.
Okay. Congresswoman Go.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So to confirm, ito pong mga trips na to that was mentioned, are these trips personal in nature that required po yung presence ng personnel and staff?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair, I believe, with all due respect with my colleague in the minority, I believe the question is irrelevant. Because even if the Vice President travels on her personal capacity, we cannot disassociate herself from the office of the Vice President. She's still the Vice President.
Exactly.
The reason for the travel is business, but she could also travel in her personal capacity, but she's still the Vice President. So I believe the question is irrelevant. With all due respect with my colleague.
Mr. Chair,
thank you.
Just to respond po, no, this is just a mere question. Whether the nature of the trip is personal or business po, no, or whether it's official. This is a question that I'd like that could be posed, and I hope to pose po to the Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, it depends. If I have activities for the Office of the Vice President abroad, the 3 OVP personnel join the trips. But if the trip is purely personal and I do not have events for the Office of the Vice President, they do not join the trips. So in the graph, in the table that I mentioned earlier, those were the trips that the 3 personnel from the Office of the Vice President joined. But in the case of security personnel, this is something that is beyond the Office of the Vice President. It is decided by the Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Thank you, Madam Vice President.
Okay, thank
Congresswoman
you.
Go.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Hope satisfies your question.
Thank you. My next question is in relation po to a line of questioning and in relation to the unqualified opinion that the COA issued to the Office of the Vice President. But after that, 60 days was provided to the Office of the Vice President to issue corrections po to certain errors made. Upon questioning the COA in its budget hearing, nagbigay po sila ng additional details kung saan may nakita daw po kasing 3.8 million pesos worth of equipment not accounted for in the OVP submission. Ito po ay mga errors found in the 2024 annual audit report. Can the Vice President explain this error po, Mr. Chair?
Madam Chair, the Office of the Vice President from 2022, 2023, and 2024 received unmodified opinions from the Commission on Audit. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank all my colleagues in the Office of the Vice President for being faithful to transparency and accountability in our office. The reason why we have comments from the Office of the Commission on Audit is because of system and improvement in processes. So these are basically documentations that the Commission on Audit require of transactions. And we have already updated our manual of operations in the OVP to reflect comments from the auditors.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And if you can, if possible, if that is not classified, you can give a list to the committee para kami na po magbigay doon sa minority. Thank you very much.
The manual of operations, sir? Okay, sir. Let me just discuss this with the executive committee. Kasi pinaghirapan din namin dito, Sir Gawin. Baka kopyahin lang din ng minority.
It's your prerogative, Madam Vice President.
But
Madam
in
Go.
relation to that po, Mr. Chair,
Okay.
we would be interested in the report kung ano po yung 3.8 million pesos that required correction po doon sa COA audit report in 2024. Would that be possible po, Mr. Chair?
Madam Chair, as I said, all questions about all documents inside the Commission on Audit is best to be directed to the auditors or the representatives of COA in the budget hearings. Thank you.
But with all due respect, to follow up that po, the COA specifically sought correction because po may nakita pong 3.8 million pesos that is not accounted for in the submission by the OVP. So the burden of the submission is actually with the following agency. So which is why in the exercise of legislative oversight, we would like to be enlightened kung ano po yung error na po ito. And tama po, para maiwasan in the future, a report po on what it is would be appreciated. So ang question ko po is, would that be possible po, Mr. Chair?
Madam Chair, usually the Commission on Audit, the auditors review documents, and sometimes they do not see the attachments in the correct submissions. Sometimes the attachments that are required are found in other submissions and reports. And these attachments are required by auditors in every report. That is why right now we already have a checklist. If this is the process, if this is the project, there is a checklist on the attachments because auditors review the documents, and the auditors require the attachment of documents, and sometimes these documents are not attached to a specific report. So what we did, Madam Chair, is create a checklist and improve the system. The personnel from the Office of the Vice President go through the checklist before they submit.
Okay. Anything else, Congresswoman Ko?
Just to clarify, therefore, dahil po naibigay yung explanation na yon, is the Office of the Vice President explaining that this is the explanation for that 3.8 million necessity for correction?
This is the explanation why we have an unmodified opinion. Wala po silang nakitang nawawala. Nawawala po yung papel dahil naka-attach siya sa ibang document. At ang gusto ng COA ay specific yung mga dokumento na ina-attach per submission.
Alam nyo, kahit na anong senaryo, mahirap makakuha ng 16. At tatandaan natin yan, ang saligang batas, ang sinabi of all senators. So 24 po yan, kahit alsin nyo yung mga ayaw nyong pabotohin, yung mga kung sino-sinong gusto nyong kasuhan, lalabas at lalabas, kailangan may 16. At pag minenos mo ng minenos ang total na 24, ay talagang hindi ka makaka-16. Hindi ko alam kung ano yung mathematics na ginagamit nila.
夏は40度を超える場面もあるので、水分補給だったり肌を守ったりっていうのを意識してやっています。汗もすごいかきやすいスポーツなので、その中で爽やかさを保ってくれるドライ EX の魅力かなと思います。普段でもいいですし、寝る時に着ても気持ちいいだろうし、常にドライな感じで気持ちよくずっと着てれるウェアですね。
Si Senate President Tito Soto ay kakulangan sa kakayanan nito. Hindi abogado si Tito Soto at mas akma sa kasalukuyang liderato. Ano po masasabi niyo po dito, Prof?
Well, ako'y sumasang-ayon dyan. Yan ang aking column nung Martes na nakaraan na sinabi ko doon, oo, si Senate President Soto ay mahaba ang experience, malawak ang experience, pero ibang klase ang impeachment court. Sa impeachment court, ang presiding officer kailangan mag-decide, no? Napakahalaga diyan yung jurisprudence. Ano ba yung jurisprudence? Ito yung mga kaso na pwede mong kunan ng yaman sa pag-rule, no? Na basihan para sabihin, that is out of order, that is a wrong interpretation, we should probably consider it this way. Malaki ang nakita natin sa kasaysayan ng impeachment sa ating bansa. Si Senate President Nene Pimentel, abogado yon. Si Senate President JPE, and really, abogado yon. Nakita mo yung yaman ng literature nila to make a ruling. Yun ang kinokol ng presiding officer, that you are able to break the impasse, to intervene when necessary, and to rule. Ang ruling mo is based on jurisprudence. 'Di ba? So napakahalaga na abogado 'yan na umupo. Dahil ang Vice Presidente na nasa saligang batas, ang presiding officer ay ang Senate President. So napakahalaga. Si Senate President Soto, plano niya siya magkakaroon ng impeachment manager na si Senator Kiko Pangilinan. Sa tingin ko yun ay admittance on his part na he really needs assistance. And how will you be able to rule kung yun ay manggagaling sa iba? So lahat subject, lalo na dito sa contentious na impeachment kayo, Vice President, yung ruling napakahalaga. Hindi pwede yung medyo padagilid-tagilid o medyo patawa-tawa. Hindi, napakaseryosong bagay ito. Kasi Vice Presidente yung ini-impeach. No? Sabi nga nung iba, gawin na lang daw na si Chief Justice. Kaso ang sasaligang batas ang naandon ang Senate President. So tama yan, nag-agree ako dyan. Kaya ginawa at kaya nakita ng mga colleagues niya na mahihirapan ang Senado. Sa majority nung una, iisa lamang ang senador. Yun ay si Senator Pangilinan. Sa minority dati, 4 ang abogado. So kailangan talagang, kung titingnan mo kasi yung institusyon kailangan yung institusyon, someone who can make a decisive ruling na hindi mag-aaway-away yung mga colleagues nila doon sa impeachment court. Kasi kung maging magkaroon ng internal struggle sa mga posisyon, ang ultimate arbiter, ang Senate President. Hindi siya bumoboto dahil boboto lamang siya kung may tie, pero napakahalaga ng kanyang mga rulings.
Opo, meron pang, baka kasi hindi rin i-considera yung Chief Justice kasi meron ding hiling doon Medyo abala sila, marami silang trabaho ngayon. Meron pa dito kay Bato at meron pa dito kay mga humiling na kini-question yung constitutionality dito sa impeachment nga ni VP Sara. Pero napag-uusapan na po ito. Sakali po na lumabas ito, anong nakikita nyo po mangyari? Kung paborable po dito po kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Ano ba to? Parang part 2 doon sa unang nilang nangyari. So, mabubura. Next year na naman. At kung next year ba, kung magfa-file sila ng impeachment, parang...
At mahirap na ang next year kasi malapit na tayo sa eleksyon. Yun kung may eleksyon, no? Pag nag-rule ang Korte Suprema na dismiss yung impeachment na yan, babalik tayo uli sa square one, no? At legitimate ang mga issues na dinala sa Korte Suprema, yung acceptance kay Madriaga, yung COA ruling being final, yung AMLA report, di ba? At saka yung conditional threat. So napaka-importante na hintayin natin ang Korte Suprema na mag-appreciate kasi nagbigay na sila ng unang ruling doon sa unang impeachment and apparently hindi pa rin sinunod ng House of Representatives yon. So talaga napaka-importante yon. So hindi dapat gigil ang Senado, tama ang ginawa ng Senado na ang unang hearing July para mabigyan ang Korte Suprema ng panahon to rule on it. Kasi pag nag-start na ang trial, may certain rights na makwe-question, mahirap mong i-dismiss ang impeachment court pag nagsimula yon. lalong magkakagulo tayo. So, mas siguro dahan-dahan at maging kalmado at hintayin natin ang ruling ng Korte Suprema.
Opo. Meron pong panayam kay Senadora Amy Marcos. Meron siyang inilahad po, Prof, no? Maliban doon sa mga cash consideration, sa pangako na